Is the Marine Corps really going to kick out service members over razor bumps, formerly known as pseudoficulotus barbae? I don't know, but let's find out with this updated MARADMIN policy. And if you fall into this category, this can be actual beneficial news for you to help you out. So MARADMIN, which is a Marine Corps administration message, 124/25 that came out back in March, was the uniform and grooming standards for medical conditions. Now, this is specifically covering razor bumps and the process that they're going to do when it comes to processing service members out. But people are kind of taking this the wrong way because they think that if they have razor bumps or they suffer from this condition explicitly, that they're going to get kicked out tomorrow. And that just doesn't work like that, just so we're clear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this Marvin real quick, just so some of you guys have an understanding of what it really means and if this applies to you, what the steps are, because there's a process that you must go through when it comes to this, and the steps you can take as a service member to make sure that you're taken care of at the end of the day. So let's go and hop into it right now. It starts off saying that this MARADMIN provides interim guidance and announcements of upcoming policy changes regarding the ETP policy, which is exception to policy in the Marine Corps, specifically covering the ETP for pseudoficulitis barbae, also known as razor bumps. It goes on to say that we must keep the same standards, we must keep discipline, we must keep high standards, and that's what makes the Marine Corps who we are. And I agree, standards are a big part of the Marine Corps, and I don't disagree with that in any regards. But it also goes into grooming standards specifically. Now, it goes on to say medical conditions may necessitate temporary modifications. Examples include a service member is recovering from surgery requiring a brace or sling. Okay, got it. Or a service member diagnosed with pseudoficulitis barbae, PFB, or other facial and skin conditions, wounds needing temporary refrain from clean shaving, or an injured service member requiring alternate footwear. So that means if you suffer from this and you can't shave for a while, you get a no-shave chit, which is fine, it's common. But what they're trying to say is that, okay, you have this, you recover, you're good. But it's when you don't recover, and it's when it's continuous, it's ongoing, and it becomes a problem, they're like, hey, what do we do now to essentially fix this? Because if you have a sling or a brace, guess what? It's temporary, you're just fine. But if you have a sling or brace for 4 years, okay, now you can't do something, now you're more of a burden to the Marine Corps rather than an asset. So that's kind of what it's talking about when it comes to the differences between the two. If it's temporary, it's fine. When it's ongoing, then that's when it becomes an issue. Medical officers, or MOs, when a medical procedure or condition necessitates modifying a service member's uniform or grooming standards as defined, the MO will provide a written waiver recommendation for specific modifications, which is known as a no-shave chit. Or it's known as a waiver that person walks around with saying, hey, I'm able to have this, wear this, sunglasses in formation, right? No shave chit, things like that. The CO will review what the MO's recommendations and consult the MO to approve or disapprove it. So basically it's saying, hey, I go to medical, they give me a chit, great. I'm in formation, someone calls me out, I show them the chit, they could say, you're good, or they can go and challenge it by talking to the MO, the doctor, saying, why'd you give this guy this? In my entire career, I've never seen that. Anyone who's had a medical chit, which they're really good at putting in their, breast pocket to pull out at the ready when someone calls them out, never seen a CO or any leadership challenge that when it comes to paperwork that the doctors give them. But that's what that's talking about. Now, this goes on to specifically talk about the razor bump situation specifically. PFB is a medical condition that may require modified facial grooming, education, and treatment time. This interim guidance reaffirms existing treatment plans and clarifies commanders' responsibilities in supporting those protocols, with the ultimate goal of returning service members to grooming standards and ensuring maximum warfighting readiness. You have a temporary issue, let's get you back in the fight, let's get you healed up. Pretty easy, and that's pretty SOP when it comes to the Marine Corps, and that's what they should be doing anyways. Here is the new or interim guidance when it comes to grooming modification. PFB is a 4-phase treatment approach outlined in detail. So now it's going to go over the 4 phases in which you should be healed, and if you are not, what will happen at the end of the time or the end of the phases as it goes. Phase 1. Control of mild cases. So if you get a mild case, a small patch of razor bumps, which I even get myself to from time to time, avoid shaving for up to 4 weeks until all lesions have subsided while undergoing medical treatment. Okay, pretty common practice. That's like what most Marines go through when they get a chit. It's about for a month. Don't shave. They go back. Everything's good. They shave. They go back to normal duty. All is well. Phase 2, control of moderate to severe cases for those cases unresponsive to phase 1. avoid shaving for up to 8 weeks, so that's now 2 months, if initially starting phase 2, or for an additional 4 weeks if continuing from phase 1 into phase 2 with hair removal by a deploratory treatment according to a treatment plan. Phase 3, cares unresponsive to phase 2, which continues phase 2 protocols for up to an additional 4 weeks. So now we're at 12 weeks without shaving. At this point, people have full beards. We're getting out of control a little bit. And this is when people start raising their eyes and they start making a big deal about this. Usually, this actually starts in phase 2, but now we're in phase 3. At this point, the medical officer may then recommend them for continued treatment based on the patient's response, if necessary, a further period of modified grooming standards. So by this time, at phase 3, which is now 12 weeks in, the doctor can say, hey, we're either going to stop this or we can continue to allow you to heal, recover, and whatnot, which again, I think it's not a bad thing, and continue your no grooming standards and allowing you to heal. So now we're at 3 months of no shaving, but again, this is at the doctor's discretion. And now phase 4, which is optional. Control of cases unresponsive to phase 3 or reoccurring frequently. So if it happens, it comes and goes, it's super frequent, that's when they can implement this 4th phase. Referral to dermatology for possible laser treatment. This treatment is government funded, which means you don't pay for it, but a service member is not required to undergo laser treatment. So what it's saying is at the end of phase 4, if your stuff is not administrative separation, this is the big ticket item right here. Marines needing a uniform or grooming ETP based on a medical condition over a 1-year period may be considered for administrative separation due to incompatibility with service. This means that if after 1 year of treatment, the Marine Corps can recommend that you be administratively separated because you do not fall into the Marine Corps' grooming standards and nothing the Marine Corps has done up until this point has helped you in your condition at all. Therefore, they can recommend you or consider you for being admin sept or being kicked out of the Marine Corps. Now, does it say that this is explicitly going to happen? No. It says recommendation. Now, have I heard of anyone getting administratively separated from the Marine Corps because of this? No, but what they're telling you is that it is possible, and if nothing is working, that this can happen. So again, when you saw the headline, it was saying the Marine Corps is kicking these people out and whatnot. They're not, but what the Marine Corps is trying to do is they're trying to find a way to get the service members back in the fight the best way possible. And if not, and if all else fails, hey, maybe the Marine Corps is just not for you. It's not personal, but you shouldn't seek employment elsewhere. Last thing here at the very bottom, it says coordinated instructions, okay? So within 90 days of this Marvin, so from March till now, all service members who have a current PFB diagnosis, anyone who's currently diagnosed with this, must be reevaluated by a medical doctor. Reevaluations will assess the service member's current treatment protocol and determine the need for future treatment. The MOs determine the service member's condition warrants an ETP, which is a shaving chit. The MO will use the revised NAVMAC to facilitate communication between this and the COs, which, hey, if you need one, we'll give you a new chit, whatnot, the thing they've always been doing in the past. If you like this video, you found it useful, share it with your friends, share it with someone who can actually benefit this. It has shaving bumps that may have not seen this already.